Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. I apologize for that slight delay. We had some technical issues, but we got them all worked out. We're excited to have one of our partners with us today. Brian and Christine from ClickLearn will be presenting on digital adoption and user training in one solution. And just as a reminder, we are recording this webinar and we will post it to our on-demand webinar library for you to review again or share with anyone. And we encourage you to ask questions during our presentation. So please feel free to type them into the questions box and we will answer them at the end of our session. So now I'm going to turn it over to Brian to kick off our presentation.
Thank you, Angie, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us and taking the time today. Brief introduction, my name is Brian Korsak. I am the Senior Partner Account Manager for ClickLearn North America. We also have on the line with us from ClickLearn, Christine Eltz, who is one of our Customer Success Managers. We both sit down in the Tampa, Florida areas where our office is located. So hopefully everyone can see the screen. Just a brief agenda, if you will, of the presentation today. I have a brief 8 to 10 slides to show to introduce who we are, why digital adoption, and why ClickLearn. Christine will then take it from there and show you guys a demo of our software to see how easy and all-encompassing it is. And then back to me for a few wrap-up slides. And then we'll turn it over to Q&A with questions with Angie and everyone that's attending. So again, thank you for that. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started here. So just a little bit about us. You can see the timeline here of our company's history, but we were founded in 2010. And in 2014, we went, after 4 years of R&D, went out live into the world and established inside the US. And our North American office, where Christine and I sit, we opened that up in 2019. You can see we're a Microsoft Gold Partner, and we are based in Copenhagen, Denmark. That's where our corporate headquarters are located. So we are a European company. So you see all the accolades down there are European based. One of the ones we're most proud of is the Financial Times over there. We have been in the top 1,000 of Europe's fastest growing companies for the past 3 years, so we're awfully proud of that. Again, digital adoption and user training in one solution. We have 5 offices. Again, the corporate offices are in Copenhagen, the US office here. We do have people that sit in Canada, Australia, and our development team is located in India. We have over 200 Microsoft partners, and we're used in 49 different countries. We're itching to get to that 50th one as quickly as possible, hopefully here before end of year. Over 2,000 content authors and over 240,000 end users consuming the content that's created with our software. So the why to the digital adoption. As you see here, Satya, the CEO of Microsoft, recently said, we've seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months. We're working alongside customers every day to help them adapt and stay open for business in a world of remote everything. Essentially what that's saying is that the world is ever changing, especially with everything going, cloud-based, remote, due to COVID, working from home. A lot of updates are happening more and more frequently, and it's essential to keep up. A study from McKinsey estimated that 89% of enterprises are either in a planning or a digital transformation. So successful transformation depends on organizational digital adoption. So what ClickLearn is essentially to the puzzle is that missing piece. The less effective the adoption efforts, the less complete the digital transformation initiative will be. So in layman's terms, if you're doing, as your organization are doing either a new install or an upgrade, all that time, money, energy, blood, sweat, tears that the organization is putting in to doing that upgrade or that new ERP for them, if your end users are not using the system either properly or in the most efficient way possible, then all of that investment into doing that becomes mitigated because everyone's not doing the task that they need to be doing in the way that they need to be doing it. That makes the investment the organization made in that ERP worth it. Everybody knows who Gartner is, and Gartner has come out and said by 2024, 70% of all digital transformation projects will be backed by digital adoption solutions. So efficiency and speed is the key to a competitive edge, and that's where we come in, because we help assist you with that. So there are many different reasons why ClickLearn is essentially the one and only solution out there that handles all this for you, but there's 4 key ones, and we'll go over that real fast. So one is to adopt new technology as fast as you can. With ClickLearn, there is no complexity. Christine is going to show you this in her demo, how simple and easy it is. There is no infrastructure, so there's no need to acquire or purchase any additional server or storage infrastructure or anything like that. And there's no compromise. So what that means too is that with the push of a button, the recordings and the business processes that you are going to create based on how you guys do business is produced in the 7 different learning formats. So everybody knows that everybody learns differently. But with ClickLearn, we take care of all that. So if one person, learns best by printing out the PDF of a work instruction and sitting it next to the monitor, we got that covered. If another employee or end user learns best by watching a show me video repeatedly to get that repetition, we have that covered as well. Next is supporting the way you do business. So there was a quote recently where it said that when you purchase or buy into a Microsoft platform or ERP, you're not just buying into that specific ERP, you're buying into the entire ecosystem. And we cover all of that. So whether that is a Dynamics platform such as BC or Nav, whether that is productivity and collaboration, which is your Office 365, your SharePoint, your Teams, Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel, whether that is old or outside of the Microsoft sphere of custom and legacy apps. So those could be, any web-based solutions such as a payroll company or an accounting software you guys might use. And beyond the Microsoft ecosystem as well. So if you happen to use IFS, SAP, Oracle, SalesPoint, so on and so forth. ClickLearn has you covered. We have a solution for all those things, whatever your needs are. We have a solution to make it fit, customized to you, your organization, and how you do business. Always updated content, which is key. Assuming that everybody here is currently on some version of Microsoft, you know that Microsoft does roll out 2 to 3 updates a year where they can swizzle some things around. With ClickLearn, you have a single authoring solution and a single click replay functionality that keeps everything updated when those changes do take place, whether that's driven by Microsoft or any internal updates done to your layout or to your productivity internally as well. And lastly, we do have 699 narrators fluent in 106 languages and 108 dialects. What that means is no matter where your end users are located, no matter what their native language is, ClickLearn has you covered. Takes care of all of that narration, translation, sentence conjugation, all that stuff, makes it all up to date and viable for anyone within the organization. So essentially with ClickLearn, you're writing a manual without writing a manual. And to see that, we are now going to turn this over to Christine, and she's going to show you that.
Thank you, Brian. My turn. So hello, everyone. My name is Christine Else, as Brian mentioned earlier, and I'm the Customer Success Manager for North America and ClickLearn. And what I want to take a moment and show you here first is if you had just a little peek at what ClickLearn can do, this is where we're going to start with how the end user will be able to see the materials that you'll be creating with our ClickLearn Attain. And I want to bring your attention up here to this the top right-hand corner for the icon. This is where we have placed ClickLearn's Help Learning Portal that we've created. We're looking at my BC Learning Portal sandbox, if you will. So your end user will have access right within your application. Because we are a Microsoft Gold partner, any of the Microsoft ecosystem, the suite of products, whether it's Power Apps, customer engagement, Business Central, we're able to take the learning materials that you'll be creating and embed them into that platform. So by a single sign-on process, everyone will be able to touch the materials. And here what you're looking at is a couple of different sections or folders, and these are the learning materials that will be created. So you know the learning process, or you will know whatever the materials are that you need to record, and you're going to use ClickLearn to step-by-step take the end users and guide them through the work instruction. This particular example is showing how you can change a customer if there's any materials that you need to make updates to, whether it's for a field name change, if there's something, any of the other fields that you have. And at the bottom of every one of these web pages, you're going to see a feedback panel. So your end users would be able to leave me some information, and they can say what's going on or what they like or dislike about the materials that they've just taken a look at. And they can submit that. And we have a dashboard analytics that information can then be picked up on the back end by the authors, the people that are going to be using ClickLearn to create the materials. Additionally, there's 3 videos, a show me, a try me, a test me video that your end users can access. There's a Word, a PDF, and a PowerPoint document. So at any time, if they need to have some instruction to help get them further through, and we all know at some point or another, we, as trainers or as learning and development personnel, we've all created at least one user guide. And this particular instruction, the work instruction, also has some additional information that you as authors can make updates to as well. So your end users can then go ahead and print this out and tack it up in their little cube, their little cubby. The PowerPoint is also very helpful, not only for your end users to be able to see in a full screen, but also for your trainers that will be training remotely. As Brian had pointed out with the message from Sadia, is that there is a lot of remote work going on. So there's a lot of adoption of information, and you want to make sure that your end users are comfortable learning the materials. So here you can see now that ClickLearn has taken and created a full screen. So if you have any visually impaired, this kind of helps with any ADA requirements that you may have for completing work instructions. This is also great for trainers to be able to use while they're doing remote or in classroom training. And it's also very helpful for your business stakeholders that maybe ask, have any materials been created? So if you want to take and go into a boardroom and put something up on a whiteboard for all of the stakeholders to take a look at and see that these work instructions are being created. So we also, with the videos, we also have show me, try me, test me. So when I start this, now ClickLearn is just going to, I'll be able to sit back and just focus on what ClickLearn is going to show me. I don't know if the narration is coming through, if you can hear the audio. I didn't think to click for including the audio from my desktop, but as Brian had mentioned, we have close to 700 different dialects. We have over about 118, close to 120 different countries, so languages we support as well. So you can create the material in one language, and if you have Spanish speakers, or if you have Canadian speakers, maybe French Canadian, you'd be able to translate into those other languages. So whether it's for internal employees or whether you're going to have materials for other global offices that you may have. And again, that optional feedback panel is here. Then the Try Me video is when it now becomes interactive. So this is going to help your end users be more productive, because they're now going to develop, they're going to be developing that muscle memory. So it's the same format, it's the same process. You'll be able to read and see the instructions as well as auditory hear them. And now I can go ahead and follow along and become familiar and become comfortable with what this new process is that I need to be completing. And then finally, I'm going to be tested on that. So if you do have a learning library and you have SCORM compliancy, you can take this test me video and have those SCORM compliant packages uploaded into your LMS so they can then be applied to the transcript for any of your personnel that would be taking the tests. And so now I better have been paying attention, because if I didn't notice the customers up here, if I was just going through after the 5th attempt, and I'm clicking as I move my mouse along, after that 5th attempt, I'm then going to be guided through the rest of the work instructions. So now I'm paying attention and I'm clicking on the various fields, clicking in that address field, and clicking on the back button. So I have passed. Your end user would get this detailed evaluation, and then this SCORM package can be uploaded into the LMS that they'll be able to get the credit for it there. So all of this information is right here on this Learning Portal link, and this Learning Portal link is right here within your application. So now let's turn it around and take a look at what ClickLearn can do from an author perspective. What you're looking at here is ClickLearn Attain. And with ClickLearn Attain, you would create a project. And you can see here there's a variety of projects. This happens to be my sandbox that I share with my colleagues over in our Copenhagen, Denmark, which is our home office. But this very first item, my first BC library, I created a project. And the project is what the title of your project. This will become the link that your end users will then see for you to be able to embed. I have a couple of recordings here. So the process is going to be for you is you will know your process, whether you have a business use case or whether you're the subject matter expert, and you'll have ClickLearn. You'll have both of them open. So we're going to go ahead and kind of go through a similar example to show you how quick and easy it truly is. All you need to bring to the equation is your knowledge of what that process is that you want to record. And then we'll show you how to use ClickLearn Attain. So we're going to create a recording, and this one here we're going to, we want to review, maybe we should actually say, let's update customer information. I'm going to use English US as my native language, as you could tell, and we're simply going to place it into the customers folder that's already been created for us. So now when I say next, ClickLearn is going to go behind the application. So again, if you have an external monitor that you use, ClickLearn and whatever your application is are going to be stacked on the same monitor. And then I'm going to, there's a couple of things here. I just need to make sure that I have my steps set to automatically so I can go from one step to the next. And I'm going to use this big red record button. So now that panel, again, goes behind. And if you notice at the very top by the Dynamics 365 Business Central, there's a bright green outline. And that's ClickLearn's way of visually letting you know it can see where my mouse is. So the connector that I'm using, I also have a visual in the top right-hand corner showing me the Dynamics sales. So the 365 icon for Dynamics. If I go outside, I can also capture steps in the web window. So notice that the icon now changes to a Windows icon. So let's just stay here within the application. Anywhere where there's a hyperlink, a link that you can click on, I'm going to select this customers. ClickLearn can go from a navigation menu. It can go from page to page. We're going to take it down. And let's come here and select the next item down is going to be this company number that we want to make some updates or review on. So from here, if I have a name change, perhaps there's some general information where there's been a change for a customer up here. Maybe we need to go ahead and update a credit limit. So whatever your Business Central processes are for creating or updating customer information, I can then come down here and select some address information. If I want to have a phone number, maybe there's an email address if we're going to be changing the name of our account. So And as you can see, we have other fields that go down below the screen. I can, instead of using the scroll bar to scroll down, I can go ahead and just pause the recording and move to be able to continue capturing all of the fields. So from here, I just simply use the control keys on the keyboard. Here's where that pause recording is. I'm going to move the scroll bar down just a little bit more to be able to display some more of those fields. Now once I deselect the pause of the recording, I can continue capturing steps. So if I have any other information that I need to be making updates to, it's just that easy. Then when I'm done with the recording of my steps, if I need to enter any information in there, I could also type the steps, or I can choose to edit by adding notes and additional information. I can further enrich my recording. So here I'm going to stop my recording now. And let's bring this card back out, back to our customers. There we are. So ClickLearn is letting me know my recording has been successfully captured. And when I say here to place it on my recording list, if you notice this blue box in the lower left-hand corner, this is ClickLearn now actually creating all of those 7 different learning materials that we had just taken a look at when we were acting as an end user. And here is my update, my customer information. Here's my recording. So now when I come here to edit my recording, I want to take a look at my steps, make sure that I have everything, see if I can't further enrich my information. So now we have an editing pane over here on the left, and if I scroll up just a little bit in this top right-hand corner and select the expand widget, I now see that I have 3 videos that have been created. I've got 3 downloadable documents. So all of the steps that have been captured here with that neatly cropped screen captures, as well as all of the templating, has been taken care of for me. If I want to just take a look at one of the documents, just to be able to get a visual, the numbering lets me know that the documents have been created, but as you can see, anything that has the ClickLearn logo, all of your branding material, even if you have a particular font style that's a standard that you use within your organization, you can go ahead and have that all updated and customized as well. So here's my neatly cropped screen captures. Here's my text. So I can take a look and just go right down through my step process. I can see that there's some header and footer information. So if I wanted to update that, I could do that as well. So I have 3 pages worth, and I've got an awful lot of steps that are kind of in the same place. So let's take a look back now at our recorded material. When I come up here to the very top, if I want to be able to add any additional information, maybe I want to tell my users what this guide is going to be about and what they need to be doing, I can come up here and add a text block. So when I say to add a text block, I'm going to be presented with a formatting tool. And the formatting tool is going to allow me to tell my end users, give them some more information. So I'm going to say, so I'm just typing here, letting you know, filling in some information here, some text, but we just want to be sure to save your data. So now, when we're saving, we're going to bold and underline. So we have a little bit of formatting here that we can do. And when I choose to save the changes, so now my information, because I highlighted or selected that very top step, now my text is being placed right where I want it to be. So my end users are going to be able to take a look and then follow through with whatever the instructions are. ClickLearn also has the capability in a particular step like this. If you're going to be updating information, you're not just going to be updating this one customer every time. So when I double click, Now I can say, let's have any row, that I can change the instructions so that my end users can click on any link in that column. So I have this on any row. Now my field has been expanded that my end users can see, okay, I can select anything here in this particular column. And then once we actually get down into the account, we now have these fields that are all basically in the same place. So if I want to take and do something like grouping them together, so that way we're going to save a little bit of scrolling space on the web page. We're also going to save a little space for anybody that would print out any of the documentation. And from here, I'm going to just give this, let's see. Let's just review some general customer details. And I'm going to leave it at a numbered list. We can choose between a bulleted list and a numbered list, but again, I want to show you the templating because that's what we're here to shine a light. Now I have the capability that I can go ahead and make this a little bit larger so that my end users are going to be able to see what the area is that they'll need to be collecting this information in. So when I highlight here and save, and now when I close it, I do want to highlight all these steps. I'll accept all these defaults. And so now my end user is going to be able to see exactly where they need to be going and how they need to be clicking. You've also been given a data object that has the numbered steps, but if that looks a little too busy, I simply come over here to the heading. I'm going to double click on this heading, and now I'm going to say, just give me a bulleted list. Let's just have some nice clean fields, and there's no particular order that they have to complete that information, so we've now grouped our steps together. And then we can also do the same thing for our address information. So I'm just going to hold down and I'm going to highlight these fields that we have all of that information in together. Do the same thing. I'm going to add a new group. I'm going to say to review the address details. And I'm going to change it to a bulleted list. And again, I can do a little bit of editing. I must make sure that I keep all of the data objects or these data elements inside the field that I'm making the edits to, the cropping. Otherwise, and I need to have at least two or more fields to be able to group together. So we've made our updates here. I like the way that this is progressing. I could do the same thing with the last two items, but you get an idea that you can make this flow and help your end users to understand better. You can enrich the material by adding some more text. You could actually add, if you have some images of your own, if you need to put a picture in of where a piece of material might be, you can certainly use that text block and add an image as well as the text. A lot of great functionality here. So we've made our changes. We see it here on our preview pane. Now when I select the Save button, here you notice it's saving the file, and what's actually happening is ClickLearn is now transferring all of these updates that we've made over here to the other materials. So now everything has been updated according to all of these updates that we've just done here on the pane. So everything will be visible from all of these items. Now that we've created our material, now we need to take a look or talk about how do we get it out to the end user. So from our Recordings tab, we're now going to take a look at what we refer to as the structure. And the structure is what your end user will see, what their experience is going to be for touching those materials. So here when I come to my preview pane, you can see I can get an example, get an idea. This is going to be my first Business Central Learning Library. I've added some text. I have one of those folders or sections, so I already have a couple pieces of information in here. I also have a link that I've put out here. So if I have any field service or if there's somebody that needs to look for where an account is located, maybe an address, you can go ahead and place any type of, as long as it's an active link, that you can place out here for your end users. And keep in mind, this again will be at their fingertips inside your Business Central. So if there's any web applications that they use in conjunction with their BC or any other Microsoft product, you can put those hyperlinks right here that they can easily jump out. It'll open in a separate web page for them. So how do I get here's my customers where I had selected. I'm going to open this file, and here's my update the customer information. So if I want to put it into the same section, I can, but let's say that I do have some other fields or other areas. Let's see. So if I have anything for vendors or items or bank accounts, just to give you an idea of what these of the creation would look like, I'm just going to come back here and show you. It's as easy as drag and drop functionality, and I'm going to drag it right down here so that it'll display after the customers. And this is the section. So for my purposes, now that I have my section that I've got in place, I'm going to give this section or folder a name. So I can just, we'll just call this one sales for the purposes of our example today. And then I have a variety of icons that I can select from. So if I want to be able to show something with sales, and if I want to try to keep with the same color coding combination that I have, I can do that. And once I've made those changes, now I have a folder that I can take and drag and drop. Notice the one that's got the green check mark, that's telling me visually that I already have that placed on my structure. So when I drag this and I drop it, it's going to inherit. It'll be the parent child that will inherit that same icon. So from here, I'm not going to be adding an additional folder. This is the recording that I have placed in here. So all of my information is gone. I'm not changing anything, any titles. It's all right here saved. And as I go ahead and make these updates, now I'm going to save my structure because I want this end user to, I want this recording to be accessible for my end users. And then we can preview this from here. You'll always have the opportunity to be able to preview anything that you've done. That way you can come right back here and add, remove, however you see fit for what your end user is going to experience. So here's my sales, here's my updating my customer information. Here's the recording that we just got done creating. Okay. So now we're ready to go. So our next step is going to come down here to be publishing our material. Publishing our material is just very quickly going through some happy path steps. We're going to publish to our content cloud. We're going to use our native language. We're going to want to track that published content. We do want to have that link. When it says publish, that means that we just simply want it public. It just means that we want to have it public inside our single sign-on. So only the people that will be signing on to My Business Central are going to see that link, that HTML hyperlink. And then from here, ClickLearn is going to just take a look. It's now looking back to the structure, and it's seeing that I've added a new section. It sees that I've added a new work instruction. And then this gray bar, you're going to see the progression. It will go from a gray to a blue bar. And it should happen fairly quickly here because we do have just a couple of light pieces of material on that structure. And once we're done here, we simply choose to publish, which means that we're going to generate an HTML hyperlink that the end users will then be able to see once we work with our technical team and have them embed that link into your Business Central or whatever the application is that you have chosen. We have a variety of connectors for the Microsoft products, but today we're highlighting Business Central. Brian, Angie, keep me honest. How are we doing for time?
We got about 20 minutes left.
Okay, so yeah, this should go fairly quickly. Once we're done here, we're just going to take a quick peek on what that link looks like, and then we're going to talk about how you can review the data analytics. So that the little icon below our publication here was where we have our dashboard, and the dashboard is where we're going to be able to take a look at the material that your end users will be touching, how you can track that information back. So that will save you a lot of time as far as no longer having to worry about sending out surveys, because once you get that link embedded into a place that's a single sign-on process for your end users, that information can then just come right back here into your project, and you'll be able to look at the project in a variety of different time spans, from a weekly to a monthly to a quarterly to an annual basis. So yay, we have our publishing. Our production is done, so now we're just going to simply publish, and it's going to present us with a link to be able to embed into our applications. There we go. So we have our link for our SCORM. This particular one we do have set up for SCORM compliancy. So this is a link that you can take and send to your technical team for your LMS. Here's the link that we are going to be using to take a look at. So now I'm just going to come here. And here is our first BC Learning Library. Here's our customers, here's our sales, and here's the link that we just got, or the recording that we did just get done creating. And so then once this is embedded into your application, the live assistant will come and be available to take your end users step by step through whatever that guided process is. The feedback panel, everything is here. So yay, we've got ourselves a link. We have some great material that our end users are going to start to touch. Here is the dashboard. So the last final piece that we'll share is the dashboard is going to be your best friend, because your business stakeholders, or if there's any KPIs that have been afforded or attached to your documentation project, you're going to want to be able to have some end user results, some key performance indicators for the user adoption, that digital adoption solution, which is what we are. So in this particular case, every one of these fields is going to start populating with information as your end users start touching them. The consumption trend is going to show, as depending upon how you would be deploying your material. It would be it's going to be a line chart, a date and line chart. The contents rating is that feedback panel. So there'll be a bar here for every one of the content that somebody has clicked on, and the feedback, and you'll be able to highlight that. You'll be able to see who the person is, what their email address is, what was the material that they were looking at when they left you that feedback. So if there's anybody that says something like, I didn't understand step 2, you'd be able to look right here and see, okay, I see Brian was looking at that updating customer information, and so let's go take a look at that, and you could reach out to him to again help to reinforce what the miscommunication or misunderstanding would be. And then these others are all about the users, what the user has consumed versus what have they not consumed. What's been the least consumed content? Is there something that was generated or completed that people are not really interested in, that's of no value? Who are your top consumers? So as you release your materials, you'll be able to see the people that are actually consuming and adopting. You'll be able to see what the top materials are that people are. And all of these are Excel format, so you can go ahead and pull them all out into that Excel spreadsheet and be able to present. And again, here's your time span for your weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And you can refresh this data as you have new end users starting to consume the material. So lots of great features for your ClickLearn Attain. You can take that one recording, and if you have other languages that you need to replay or record that into, you can use what we call our replay functionality. And so just from that one single recording, you can use all 118 countries for re-recording the material in, just from that one recording. Brian, let me turn it back over to you. Open the floor to questions.
Thank you, Christine. Just have a few slides here to wrap up the slide portion of the presentation here. But once you become a ClickLearn customer, what do you get? What does it all entail? So you do get a dedicated customer care team, where you'll see their pair heads up that team over in our Copenhagen office. We have that Net Promoter Score, that Capterra rating, and our CSAT score there. And if you go to the next slide here, we'll see that's our customer care team that Christine is a part of. There's her picture right there, but all of your care and support services are free forever when you're a ClickLearn customer. So that's free onboarding, free training, free ongoing customer care, free tech support, free end user community portal, free weekly training sessions, whatever you need, whatever help you need, we're at the ready 24/7. Our customer care team does sit worldwide. So typically you do get a response back in about 12 hours. Quoting and pricing, it's as simple as it's on our website. The hyperlink is there at the bottom, but really you need to know 4 things. That's the platform you're going to use, the number of authors that are going to create the content, the number of end customers that are going to consume the content, and then which edition of ClickLearn you want. That's available at our website in the purchasing and licensing section there. And to reach out for any questions, help with that, assistance, further information, you're more than welcome to reach out to me directly. Reach out to your dedicated person there at Innovia. Since Innovia is our partner, we do have a relationship there with all the people that you will deal with. So however is the best and easiest way for you to reach out, they can, or you can get to us to get the answer that you need as quickly as possible. So with that, I will hand it back to Angie, and she'll open it up for some Q&A.
All right, thank you, Brian. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and type them into the questions box so we can get them addressed from Brian and Christine. The first question I have for you guys is, what kind of integration is needed for my end users to access the materials that were created?
So this would be something that your technical team will work with our ClickLearn customer support team, and they will embed the hyperlink. So let's just kind of separate out the difference between embedding a hyperlink, and here is that .html link, and integrating. Integration implies that we'd have to go down to specific pages and put some code in different pages, and that is not the case. With ClickLearn, it truly is simply a matter of having that learning portal link embedded, and you can choose to have this embedded in any spot. This particular case, you could see I'm online with my Business Central, but if I have a navigation menu here, if you have a menu bar or a ribbon that you would like to have it, that's a decision that you could make, and then you would coordinate with our technical team to go ahead and work together to get that embedded into your application. And the same process would apply if you use SharePoint site and you want to create a channel and put that link there. It also applies to should you have a learning management system and you would like to embed the link so that your end users can assign into your learning library and have access to the link there.
Okay.
And that's all I got. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is, can I get a trial license to try ClickLearn out against my own applications?
Brian, you want to take that one? How easy is that?
Yes and yes. So we do offer a free trial license where you're able to take the ClickLearn license and test it within your own environment. So this way you get that warm and fuzzy feeling that you know that it works and it is easy to navigate. The trial license is by default set for 2 weeks, but we can extend it longer than that if needed, if circumstances arise where additional training within your organization is needed. Some of the key perks of the trial license is, one, all of the connectors that Christine showed are turned on. So if you do happen to have a software or a program or some site that you go out to as part of your business processes or your training documentation, all those connectors are turned on. So when you start the recording and you get that green screen in that environment that you were questioning, that indicates that one of the connectors is turning up. So from there, you can take it and send it to our support team through the trial license and just ask which connector is used. and this way you know which one you'll need going forward. We also offer you get the same customer support as a regular ClickLearn customer gets, so you're not put to the back of a line because you're using a trial license. It's nothing like that. We do offer trial license trainings that Christine does some of those as well. And with those, we simply help making sure that it's installed properly on your system. We also help you get started and answer any questions like, hey, I saw this in your demo, I forgot where this is, how can I do this, so on and so forth. We definitely help you with all that. And the last perk I will say is that anything that you do create with the trial license, once you become a ClickLearn customer, all those recordings automatically carry over, so you do not need to re-record those. When you record in the trial license, there's a watermark in the background that says something like training or trial or something. But once you become a ClickLearn customer, that watermark goes away, so no need for redundancy there.
All right, thank you. And the next question is, what kind of pricing is there for training and support?
Absolutely none. So should you choose to purchase ClickLearn, as long as you have an active agreement, all of the materials for training, support, and consultancy are no additional charge. You get me forever.
Thank you. And the last question that we have is, what kind of support is available?
Well, I could take that one too. Angie, are we still looking at my screen?
No, let me convert you back.
Yeah.
There
Let me
we
go ahead
go.
and show you a couple of really neat things. So in addition, you'll always have access within ClickLearn. Down here, we have a little question mark called Get Help. Pardon me. And here we have a couple of things that you could report a problem. So you can directly reach out to support@clicklearn.com. And so because I'm here at the home page, ClickLearn is thinking that I have a problem with the project. So it's context sensitive. If I'm inside my project and I have a recording highlighted that I'm having problems with, ClickLearn is going to highlight that recording, and I can tell them what my problem is, send the report, and it will go directly into our ticketing service that you will then receive an email back with a ticket number, and our customer support technical team will be able to reach out to you and schedule a time to be able to look at your issue. Additionally, with this little question mark, we also have something called Ask the Community. ClickLearn has its community website. Oh, hold on. Apologies. So ClickLearn has its own community website. And you can come here, you don't have to set up a profile, but if you choose to do so, you can become part of the community. You can answer questions, earn badges. But if you want to see some information about Attain, you can just simply come here to the search, and you'll have over 200 different topics that you could go ahead and review and get down into the weeds and the details if there's something that you'd like to get further information on. Additionally, we have our own YouTube website. Variety of videos out here as well. So you can come here, and if you need to look for something about maybe how to create a template, if you have any graphical design background, or if you're interested in how to be able to customize on your own, you can come right here and view one of the videos. So you're never left alone. And of course, as a customer success manager, I also have a booking portal. So if you need any questions, we also have online learning content at clicklearn.com that you can see what courses, if you need to have an advanced fundamentals class, or if you'd like some information about some automatic process testing, we have all kinds of sessions that we could provide for you. So that's what I have, Angie.
All right. Well, thank you both, Christine and Brian, and thank you all for attending. And if you're watching on demand, we thank you for taking the time out to join us.
Thank you very much.
And I also want to let you know, next Wednesday, we have our Senior Technical Pre-Sales and Licensing Specialist, Jeff Pergolski. He's going to be presenting a webinar on Don't Be the Next Victim of Cyber Criminals, Security in Office 365. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's inovia.com/events. And we do have new training workshops for you and your team members to attend. Visit our training workshop page at inovia.com/workshops for more information and to register for the training workshop that fits your role. And also, don't forget about our Inovia Conversation podcast that our hosts, Steve Waltz and Jeff Pergolski, have provided to us. You'll find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page, and that's inovia.com/podcast. Browse through that podcast selection and subscribe so you'll be notified when those new episodes air. And for those of you that will be attending Dynamics Con in Anaheim, California next month, be sure to stop by the Inovia room and talk to our team. You can check out our conference page at inovia.com/conferences to learn all about the different conferences that we will be attending and also to register for our customer conference in May 2022 here in South Bend, Indiana. All right, well, I just want to thank everyone again for joining us. Thank you, Christine and Brian, for the presentation, and we look forward to seeing you soon on another Inovia webinar. Take care,
Thank you,
everyone.
Angie.
Thank you.
Thank you.